All right, only 32 days until the all-important midterm elections. Republicans now rallying behind the agenda that they will enact if they can flip one or both chambers of Congress. Now, House Republicans have released their commitment to America. Kevin McCarthy has promised that the House resolution number one will be a repeal of the funding for 87,000 new IRS agents to harass you. Now, other Republicans are also promising immediate oversight of the IRS, including investigation delays in issuing tax refunds, for example. In the Senate, you have Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham. They are putting Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas on notice that he could face impeachment if the situation at the border does not improve soon and significantly. And while Senator Cruz is predicting a red tsunami in November, that's only going to happen if all of you, everybody, turns out to vote in 32 days. And that's why he is now on a 17-state bus tour, barnstorming the country for Republican candidates. And Texas Senator Ted Cruz joins us now. He's in Utah tonight. Senator, great to have you. By the way, I noticed one thing that's going on in Utah, and I want to point this out, is a fortune is coming from outside of the state in these smear attacks, a lot of slander against Senator Mike Lee, who's done a phenomenal job, a true constitutionalist like yourself. And this guy, we call him Egg McMuffin, Evan McMullin, is out there pretending to be something that he's not. He is a Romney Republican, and I hope the people of Utah are smart enough to understand.
Well, look, you're exactly right. This race here in Utah, Mike Lee, unfortunately has a real race. I'm here campaigning for Mike. Mike is phenomenal. I believe Mike Lee is one of the greatest senators ever to have served in the United States Senate. He is brilliant. He's a constitutional scholar. He is a fierce and ferocious fighter. Over and over again for a decade, Mike and I have been side by side, shoulder to shoulder, fighting to defend freedom, defend the Constitution, and to urge our own party to stand up and actually do what we promised to do. And I'll tell you, here in Utah, the Democrats are doing something really deceptive and dishonest. The Democrats have not run a, quote, Democrat candidate. They decided not to nominate anyone at all. Instead, you've got McMuffin, who is theoretically running as an independent. But he's running as an independent. The Democrat Party in Utah has endorsed him. They are raising millions of dollars for him through Act Blue, the same entity they used to support Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and AOC and to funnel cash into the race. He voted for Joe Biden. He supports Joe Biden's policies. Amazingly enough, McMuffin also said he would support S1, which is Schumer's number one priority, the Corrupt Politicians Act, that would essentially strike down every voter integrity law across the country. It would strike down photo ID requirements. It would strike down prohibitions on ballot harvesting. It would automatically register millions of illegal aliens to vote. And it would strike down prohibitions on felons voting because apparently the Democrats think we need more murderers and rapists choosing our leaders. This race, what makes it dangerous is they're counting on deception. Their objective is to win all the Democrats and just a handful, maybe 5–10% of the Republicans who are not paying much attention and say, gosh, isn't he a nice guy? No, he is not a nice guy when he is complicit in the cultural Marxists that are doing damage to this country that is massive. So I want to encourage your viewers, go support Mike Lee. Go to Mike Lee's website, make a contribution, support him. I'm here campaigning for him because he needs to win. And if people hear the truth, Mike will win decisively. But this is a close and a real race.
Listen, we're also in play in Nevada. I think Laxalt can win. Blake Masters had a great debate. General Bolduc now within the margin of error in New Hampshire. We've got to play there. Tiffany Smiley, who would have thought Patty Murray would be vulnerable? In fact, she is. Then, of course, Ron Johnson, J.D. Vance, Dr. Oz, Herschel Walker.
Yes.
I'm not that worried about Senator Kennedy or Rand Paul or Tim Scott in South Carolina, but you know what? I don't take anything for granted. Yep. Where do you see this coming down at the end of the day? Will Republicans, do you believe they will get control of the Senate?
So I do. I think we're going to win both houses. I'd put the chances of our winning the House at north of 90%. I think there's a real chance we don't just win the House, but we win with a big majority, something like 30, 40, 50 seats. In the Senate, I'd put the odds of our winning the Senate at about 65-35. I think we're about a 2-to-1 favorite to win. If you asked me to pick a number, I'd predict that we come out at 53 Republicans. And you mentioned that I'm in the middle of a month-long 17-state bus tour. So we started 7 days ago. We started in Tomball, Texas, just north of Houston. We went down to the Rio Grande Valley. We did rallies in McAllen and Harlingen and Laredo. Then we went to New Mexico, did a big rally there. Then we went to Arizona, did 2 rallies there in Tucson and Phoenix. Then we went to Nevada, did a big rally in Las Vegas. Now we're in Utah. From Utah, we go on to Missouri and Kansas and Iowa and Ohio and Pennsylvania and Virginia and North Carolina and Tennessee and Georgia and Florida, and then back up to Michigan, back up to Wisconsin, and we close it out back in the great state of Texas. All in all, we're supporting 35 candidates in 25 stops in 17 states. And I got to tell you, Sean, we're seeing energy, we're seeing passion. People are ready to throw these lunatics out who have done so much damage to the country. I think we're going to see an historic election in November.
Ted Cruz will be checking in all throughout your tour. Thank you for being with us. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.